Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Hello, hello, hello. Greeting, welcome, salutation. All that good stuff. As we open the tinny. Not alcohol, don't worry. Ooh, pardonnez-moi. So yeah, here we are, back again. Same old, same old. The usual. Dabbing away on the diamond painting while we have a nap. I say we, if anyone actually turns up. Oh, pardon me. I should just carry on while I wait for people to turn up. I'm sure someone will at some point. Now that the whole Easter thing is over and done with. And I don't believe it's Mother's Day's been and gone. Yeah. No more presents to buy until, well, November technically. But I'll probably start earlier than that. Just to spread things out across a couple of different wage packets. As the old cost of living is definitely starting to hit. Hello, somebody? Yep. So there comes a point where you can't really cut back on much more. Well, obviously I could. Scotty, how you doing, buddy? Hugsy, or should I say daddy? Hugsy, you and the family? How's it going? With all that jazz? Sammy! Yeah, I'm a reek. It's, you know how it is. It's just everyone else. I just trundle on and try and give as little care to what happens in the world as I can. Try not to let it affect me too much. Because otherwise you just spend your entire life depressed. Oh wait, I have. Oh well, never mind. Did 5 miles? No, it's when you walk 500 and then 500 more. That's when you know you're a proclaimer. Well, I would walk 500 miles and I would walk 500 more. Wait to get the car jumped. Oh dear. Got a back flattery. Or is the alternator on the way out? That's the problem with cars these days, isn't it? Everything in them uses so much electric. Some of us are old enough to remember when a car had, an ignition system, headlights, brake lights, indicators, and a radio if you were lucky. She just run on hopes and dreams. Yeah, or thoughts and prayers. Whereas what they actually run on, or stress. Well, what they actually run on is angry pixies and dinosaur juice. As a great orator of our generation once said, I love Tesla, everything is computer. Yeah. And by great orator, I take it you mean the walking cancerous, well, cheesy what's it? I say walking, I mean stumbling. He's definitely been got at by Nurgle, hasn't he? Actually, someone needs to do that. If you're familiar with your 40k, just get a Hellcat, 800 horsepower, goes vroom, doesn't go around corners and wraps you into the nearest possible tree or lamppost. I mean, if you want to do that, you can just get a 1980s Porsche and it'll do the same thing. You heard me say it there, we've got a lot of sarcasm in my voice. Oh, I can feel it dripping out of my screen. Team America theme song. Yeah. Coming to save the world, even though nobody actually asked for it, and they're not actually saving anyone from anything. Yep. I mean, the thing I don't get, forget why the war or whatever's happened, what's going on. Now, given how old Herr Trumpenführer is, he should really, really know that the Middle East is a place you leave to its own devices. You don't stick your nose in, you just nod politely and let them carry on killing each other. Trump class battleships. That they will be tier 1. They'll be the bottom tier. Because what what he thinks would make a great battleship is not what makes a great battleship. It would have the wood paneling on the inside of all the corridors and everything. No, because wood paneling's good, looks amazing. Yeah, or rail guns that don't actually work. For a battleship grade gun to work, just punching a hole clean through the other ship really doesn't do anything. And it's not going to work on anything like the engines because they're all under the water line. Yeah, you'd have the wood paneling, so every time the thing took a hit, everyone on the inside would get showered with splinters of MDF because it's not going to be real bloody walnut or oak, is it? Who's the other? Is it China testing out railguns now? So the railguns aren't going to be useful. You know, Donald releases 1,000,000 drones every time he opens his mouth. The scary thing about it is he still has nuclear codes. Yeah, but he still can't launch them because he's got to be able to read them and input them. So, yeah, we just have it simple. We don't need nuclear launch codes. We've got nukes, plenty of them. We also have the Radio 4 shipping forecast. Same time every day, has been ever since the radio started. And our nuclear submarines, listen out for that, because if that doesn't go off or go on, that's because we've been hit by a nuke. I stand on the front edge. I'm king of the world, Ma! Yeah. As he realizes that gold plating everything, all it does is add weight, doesn't actually improve anything in that case. AC/DC stands for the simple. Ah, yes, that great American rock group, AC/DC. I say that as a joke. I know you know they're Australian. The amount of people who don't realise AC/DC are 3 Aussies and a bloke from Newcastle. Good driving music. Yeah, I can see that. If you want to get a speeding ticket. Yeah, people still think Born in the USA is this really big patriotic, yeah, America song, but it's not. It's an anti-war song. It's a song against the Vietnam War. Yes, and Donald's been told not to play Rolling Stones and Bruce Springsteen music. Now he's upset with Bruce Springsteen because he's, yeah, here's some people I like. How do you do, Mikey? Did they get rather lost and ended up in Maryland when they thought they were in West Virginia? Take me home, country road, to the place. That's what it says, to the place I belong, West Virginia. It's because they're in bloody Maryland. Take me home where I belong, West Virginia, Mountain Mama, take me home. It's because they're in Maryland and they're lost. The land of Marys. Sounds a good place. Yeah. A lot of songs do. And if you take the actual music out of it and just read the lyrics, some songs take on a completely different turn. I still think one of the funniest ones is there was a girl group at the time. Was it Girls Aloud? I think was it Girls Aloud or All Saints? No, it was All Saints. 90s girl group, type of thing. Pretty in fashion and yeah, a bit like the Spice Girls, but with less boobage. Well, they did a cover of Under the Bridge by the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Have a good one. And I were on one of these Saturday morning kiddies shows on TV. One where they have the phone in and the kiddies phone up and they ask questions of the pop stars. All very banal usually and pointless. Until someone phones up and says, "Oh yeah. My question is, my dad wanted to know. Do you know that song Under the Bridge is about being a heroin addict?" Live on the BBC at like 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning. They didn't have a clue. You just see looks on their faces at what? They start running through the lyrics in their head and they go, "Oh, that makes sense now." Oh dear. Ooh, been a bit angry grandpa today, a bit windy. Semi-charmed life by Third Eye Blind. Yeah. Doing this and yeah. I know that one. I suppose the most famous one is "Every Breath You Take" by the Police. The song that's played at freaking every wedding I've ever been to, bar one. And that's only because I actually told the bride and groom well beforehand what the song's actually about. Yeah. And then there's always the classic Master of Puppets. Chop your breakfast on a mirror. Actually, that's another use for WD-40. If you're ever in like a public restroom, a bar or whatever, and on the back of the toilet system it looks kind of slightly oily, that's because they wiped WD-40 on it. Because what that does is the white powder sticks to it and then dissolves. Yeah, except for the song "Desire" by U2, because that was all about heroin taking Bono. Is Ave Maria? It's one of them. Oh dear. Yeah, but you wouldn't expect any better of him, would you? I mean, personally, I'd probably always look on the bright side of life, but something tells me the Monty Python crew would not allow him to have the rights to their music to play it. Don't get me wrong, I've got a couple of Kid Rock records because I enjoyed them when they came out many, many moons ago. American Badass, all that kind of stuff. But let's be honest, when he's your highest profile musical sort of supporter, you've lost your audience. Every Trump rally, a village person dies. Yeah. Well, in at least if you got a Trump rally going on, at least you know where all the village idiots are. Yes, we can say the same about the Reform UK Party, previously known as UKIP, and previously known as the British Nationalist Party before that, which were known for being a bunch of drunken, violent skinheads and thugs who just had extreme racism going on. They couldn't understand that we're a multicultural society and the empire doesn't exist anymore. They still can't understand that. At least in the 80s, we still had a bit of empire left. Now we're down to the Falkland Islands, Gibraltar, and a little bit of Cyprus, I think, and possibly Malta. Places that cost more than we get from them. It doesn't really work as an empire. It's not like Greenland's got any resource, or not Greenland, the Falkland Islands got any resources that are worth plundering. I mean, there's penguins and snow and bad weather, and we got two of them. Thank you, Linkbot. Yeah. Oh, that's probably racist for me to even sing that, isn't it, these days? Right. Uncle Remus is your favourite Disney princess. Mine's Princess Leia, which is technically true. Even if she's, rather corpseified these days. Yes. Rest in peace, Carrie Fisher. Absolutely lovely person by all accounts. Not that I ever met her, but you tend not to meet too many famous people in this part of the country. I'll probably meet more than most. Because we do get a lot of the Norwich City football players live around this area. Quite a few former racing drivers. Some of whom I actually used to race RC cars against. Very strange thought. So, what's been occurring this week? Pretty much a standard week, really. Nothing overly interesting or spectacular happening. Sold a bunch more bristly noses and linears this morning. Um, um, yeah, did a bit of gardening. Remembered just how much I hate being on ladders. I went through and sort of sorted through my camping gear. Managed to drop the weight of that considerably. Actually, by a fairly ludicrous amount. Mostly just sort of the things I took as well. I might need that, or I might need two of those. We'll take extras just in case. So don't get me wrong, the bike's still going to be heavy when I do that ride, but it's going to be a good chunk lighter. As I said, I won't have to carry anywhere near as much food and drink with me. I was just hoping it would stay fairly dry when I'm in the next couple of weeks. So when it does come to looking for a camping spot, I don't end up somewhere that turns out to be soggy and boggy after a bit. Or an absolute mosquito hotspot. Although I will have my insect repellent, so I should be okay. Providing I remember to spray it everywhere. Hopefully I won't get eaten alive this time. I'm not sure what was worse, the mosquito bites on the top of my head or on like the lower part of my back in the tramp stamp area. Neither of them were pleasant. So we've got that all sorted. Finished off the diamond painting of Porridge the Bunny, aka Mayo Podge, Mayor Porridge, Pogrange, Poodle, Porgler, all the various nicknames he ends up with. Just a gorgeous derpy boy. And then while we were at the fish store today, we did stop by to see the fluffies. I had some very, very pretty bunny rabbits in there. Temptation to figure out where I can sneak a hutch into my back garden is growing, but do I want to have? I want to have, obviously, but do I want to be having to clean out a hutch once a week, pick up the poops all the time, pay the vet bills, do the feeding, the socialising? Because the last thing I want to do is get an animal and then don't give it the life it deserves. You're being very active today, Linkbot. Maybe a pet bunny is something I'll have to wait until I retire. When I really can't afford it. Oh well, never mind. Every day is your dog's birthday, so happy birthday every day. What is she? Aquafunk? Yeah. And I'm sure you tell her she's gorgeous and lovely every day too. Which is as it should be. As you've got to love your floofer. And you've got to tell them when they do a big yawn or a big stretch. These are things that some people look at you like you're weird for. Why would you say that? Why wouldn't you? But the animal lovers will go, yeah, we do that too. It's like a day where you get to fuss a floofy friendly animal is a better day. It's scientifically proven. Having a floofy, fussy, loving friend is better than not. Be it a dog, a cat, a bunny, a budgie, a God knows what. Hamster, rat, ferret, maybe not a ferret, or a pet skunk. I guess they have their skunk glands removed or something before they become pet skunks, but still, it's a skunk. Mind you, at least then I'd have someone to blame the smell on. That wasn't me, I didn't fart, it was a skunk. or me not having a sense of smell, what would happen is I would end up smelling of skunk and go to work not realising it. And just stink everyone out again. Yeah, in general, mustelids and weasels don't really, anything of that kind of family doesn't make a good pet. Like, oh, I want a pet leopard, and like, no, you don't, because you are literally just waiting for the day when that leopard decides you are food. Even the ones that have been hand reared from like day old or whatever, yeah, they still turn on their keepers. They don't trust them. I'm not sure I'd trust anything that weighs as much as me and can kill me with its face. But the leopard won't eat my face. Yeah, yeah, it will. At some point, it's just a matter of time. Lions, tigers, cheetahs, because they're all, well, tigers not so much, but they're all far more predictable. Leopards just aren't predictable. It's really not what you want. They basically don't tame. You can't tame a leopard. Panthers just about. Yeah, anything bigger than like a serval as no, just don't have pets that are predators that are big enough to consider you part of their food chain. It's just not a good idea. Well, dogs and wolves are one thing, but big cats? Hell no. Yeah. Well, I would be happy if I got to fuss a tiger, I've got to say. Because they do look like they enjoy a fuss and a scratch and a boop on the nose. But the thing that gets me, right, a tiger, the largest land or mammalian land predator on the planet, right, including us. They have eye spots on the back of their ears to confuse predators. I want to know what's out there or was out there that considered tigers food. What behemoth decided that, or made tigers evolve to be scared of something? No, I don't really want to encounter that. If we find out what it is, I'm quite happy to just look at the fossils. Thank you very much. Yeah. Well, at least I can guarantee you I won't be climbing into the leopard cage or enclosure at a zoo like some people do. Yeah, you have to think, how high were they? That's the only reason you would possibly think that was a good idea to do. Some of the people who decide they're going to climb in with a gorilla enclosure, I wonder why they get ripped on limb from limb. Yeah, because you don't. Even a red panda is dangerous. Oh, cutely dangerous, but yes, rest in peace, Harambe and Coco. If I think Coco passed, didn't she? She was Robin Williams' friend. They used to. She could speak sign language, ASL. So they used to talk to each other. It's kind of sweet. Yes, Harambe. And my boss is called Hiram, so I call him Harambe sometimes. On the days when he's not leaving as I'm arriving, that is. Because then it's Hiram, Byram. Oh dear. Ooh, that might have some aroma to it. There might have been lumps. Ooh. No, I think we're safe. It was just a trapped bubble rather than a lump. I hope. Ooh. Oh, pardon me. Oh, here come the rain again. Hopefully Mary managed to get home in time before the rain reached the big old thunderclap. Oh, my burp or the weather near you? Yeah, so hopefully Mary managed to get home because the weather is going her direction, as it were. So hopefully she got home before her washing got wet again. And so she could. That is absolutely belting it down. Um, Also to cover latte up so latte doesn't get soggy. On the list of things that bunnies really don't like getting rained on is quite high up there. You definitely don't want latte's new tube getting soggy. Because she loves tube. That's tube spelt Chube. Basically just a giant toilet roll tube. It's made out of obviously much thicker cardboard that rabbits or other floofy furry friends can sit inside and chew on, and latte does like them. She sort of backs into them and hunkers down and gets all snug and comfy until it gets too warm, and then she gets grumpy because she's too hot. Well, you did lay inside a cardboard tube for several hours. Right. Row complete, yay! And yes, I've literally got that much, but that much left to do. Now this one. This is of a certain buxom red-headed lady. Which will come as no surprise to anybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. Result well worked out. And then, hopefully, and during the rest of this week, I should finish this diamond painting off tomorrow. Hopefully I can then start on one of my naughty ones and get it finished before next Sunday, so I don't have to worry about censoring anything. But then something else might take my fancy. I might just go, you know what, F it, I'm going to take a break. Link bot with more links. Yes, the things to click are there. Feel free to click if you want. Yeah, that's definitely throwing it down. What else we can waffle about? I don't think, other than like food and drink, I don't think I need to get anything for the bike ride, so we're good there. I will have to get some sachets of instant coffee and a couple of either Ovaltine or Horlicks. So I can have an evening coffee at camp, then a nice mug of Horlicks or Ovaltine before I go to bed. Hopefully that will send me off to sleep. And then maybe a morning coffee. Depends how things go, what time I wake up, if I actually go to sleep at all. Yeah, the reason I didn't, well, I say the reason, one of the contributing factors to not doing any longer bike rides last year was obviously I was walking Pippa dog in the mornings, which just made things awkward. Plus, we just really didn't have any weather last year that was particularly suited. It was either peeing down with rain and blowing a gale, or absolutely roasting hot. And I'm sorry, but neither of those appeal to me, to be sitting on a bike for hours on end and then camping. Let's see if it's... Well, I suppose at least if the weather's manky, like rainy and horrible, there won't be very many other people about. So I wouldn't have to worry about being found where I'm camping as such. Which is the problem with being in the countryside, is they're animals, and people tend to let their dogs run off leash or off lead. And while I'd like to think it'd be fairly obvious that I'm not doing any damage or causing any trouble where I'm camping, it just takes one of those busybody Karen types who doesn't agree to complain, and then police get called and you get moved on in the middle of the night. Which, packing up camp in the pitch black is never going to be fun. So I would like to think I'm pretty stealthy when it comes to these things. I'm not obvious, I'm not loud, I'm not big fire and smoke, I'm not bright lights and I mean, there'd be the odd random loud belch going on, obviously, but this is Norfolk, so there's plenty of pig farms around. Actually, I don't know. That's actually something I might have to look up. Because we still have commons in the UK, which is specifically an area of land that the common folk have the right to roam and the right to graze cattle or sheep on, livestock, shall we say. I wonder if you're actually allowed to camp on those. I mean, admittedly, it's going to be busier with dog walkers and what have you, but if you're allowed to camp there, I could find one of them that would work well. With any luck, by the time I get to looking for a campy site, I might be somewhere around Thetford Forest, and that'll be easy to disappear into there. Probably be damn easy to set up a tarpaulin as well, because majority of it is pine forest, which are planted all the same distance apart, in dead straight lines. And they're going to be very easy to tie a tarpaulin around. Well, the paracord for it. Yeah, we'll see. Somewhere will turn up. It's a sensible place for campifying. Oh, and the sun's out again. There we are. 7 o'clock. Yeah. What else we got? We can waffle about. Have a watch anything that might be interesting to talk about this week. Don't think so. Mostly I've been catching up on old So diamond painting, doing chores, and recovering from work, and catching up on old V8 supercar races from Australia. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I've been watching this week. Although I did hear a really, really bad un-PC joke. Now, kind of like how country music, if you play it backwards, the dude gets his dog, his truck, his wife, and his house back. Well, if you watch Cinderella backwards, she learns her place. That is, yeah. It made me chuckle. Not that I think like that. Yeah. I can laugh at those kind of jokes without believing them or them being who I am, which apparently some people have trouble with these days. They can't seem to distinguish between finding something amusing because it's amusing and it being hate speech, whatever, blah, 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 slurring or phobic this or whatever. It's like, no, it's just a joke. It doesn't actually mean that the person who told the joke or the person who laughed at the joke is that way. As I said to someone this week, when they got upset about me calling them something, and I'm going to use the word idiot because, you know, monetization. I said, well, if you don't want me to call you that, stop acting like it. There's a simple solution. If you get upset by being called something, don't do that thing. Yeah, it's kind of simple and self-explanatory, right? Apparently not. Married, my darling, how the devil are you? Mwah. Huggles, smoochies, all the good stuffs. Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. You know that. Even if I wasn't, I probably wouldn't say anything, would I? Us Gen Xers are like that, though, aren't we? Someone asks us how we are, we go, yeah, fine, yeah, I'm fine, I'm good. Or on the inside, we're dying. Because it's just easier than having the conversation. But no, I am okay. I'm doing wonderfully well. No idea what you're talking about. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. See, the thing is, Merritt, we're more similar than we like to let on. Or that you, well, I mean, I don't mind being likened to you, but I'm sure you'd probably rather not be likened to me. But yeah, we're cut from the same cloth, shall we say. Yeah, it's easier just to lie. Like, yeah, I'm fine. It's generally trying to explain why you're having a bad day to someone or why you're not feeling great. Usually makes you feel worse anyway. It's over there somewhere. I think you might have fallen asleep or he's gone out to walk the doggo again. Doobie doobie down, doobie doo down down. Why the heck am I singing Neil Sedaka songs? Not even Neil Diamond. Jeez. Somebody shoot me now. Home Alone. Ooh. The boy gone out somewhere? You got the place all to yourself? You can have a party and do all the wild things you want to do, like have an early night. Chris at a football game. So yeah, you can do all the fun things that you can't do yet. Yeah. Now you get to our age, and that is just yeah. I'm just going to sit in my armchair comfortably and doze off. Maybe it's something like a Horlicks or an Ovaltine because we're getting old. Although if oh, maybe threw my light on the floor. Although if you had a bath or a shower, it just means you don't have to get dressed because no one's going to see you. Yeah, you get to the age of shall we do the naughties? Should we just go to sleep instead? Yeah. Lawnmower air filter ordered, tighten the box mat and clean the box. That's enough lawnmower stuff for one day. That's enough lawnmower stuff for 1 year. Definitely. Part I only do when I'm alone. Walking from the shower nude. Yeah. I mean, yeah, I generally only bother putting clothes on when I've got company or if it's cold. So most of the time, at the most, I'm wearing boxers and a t-shirt around the house. And the t-shirt is mainly so I don't either drop ash down my front and burn my chest, or as I've done in the past when I've been cooking, had fat spatter back at me, and yeah, hot fat burns across the chest and the stomach. That's not fun. Also, it's just more hygienic not to leave like sweaty patches, and you know, best to leave the skid marks in the boxes, not on the furniture. I'm not wearing pants. It's the day off in my backyard. Go you, Mike. Go you. I mean, the thing is, though, there's probably more people would rather see you without your pants than me without my pants. And by pants, we are talking trousers. Oh, you can do it, Mara. You'll get arrested, but you can do it. I mean, technically, I could. I mean, I've got a 6 foot fence all the way around my garden, but I know I've got a neighbour that likes to peek out of their upstairs windows and see what everyone else is doing in their back gardens to check that they know they don't need to cut the grass or do something like that. And I'm sure she would complain. You don't have a fence. And you haven't got your big tarp covering you anymore, have you, from the building works? So, which means at least you're not going to cook this summer. Freeing, really. Only put pants on, no glass out. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Privacy of your own home, as long as you're not upsetting anyone else. I don't see what the problem is. Although when I am doing gardening, I do put on the long pants and a long sleeve top. Purely just so I don't get bitten by every bug, stung by every nettle, stabbed by every thorn. You don't need the police knocking on the door. But I'm sure you'd rather the police were knocking on the door about someone seeing you less than fully clothed than them knocking on the door and asking about Chris. I can see you go, yes, officer, I was on my balcony topless. Yeah, this is my private balcony. Although I suspect in Norway, people would be a bit less, a bit more open to these things, shall we say, to some casual nudity than the UK, where we're still a little on the prudish side. And we're nowhere near American standards of prudishness. You know, we don't write 1-star reviews about places because the young women were on the beach without their bikini top. That's going to add a star, not subtract one. Resort was an absolute hole. Service was terrible, food was awful, blah, 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 blah. However, there were some very pretty girls on the beach wearing very little clothing, so 5 stars. Many years ago, I had to inform one of my friends because he put up his holiday pictures on Facebook. I was just scrolling through them like you do. In the back of one of them, I noticed his teenage daughter was sunbathing topless. I'm like, dude, take that one down. A, she will be mortified if she finds out it's up there. And B, I think it's technically illegal. And also, Facebook doesn't like it. Yeah. He literally, he just didn't even notice. He was like, oh, crap. Thanks for telling me. He was just uploading all his pictures. He didn't even notice that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. I was like, yeah, that's the short bush. 14, 15 at the time. I was like, yeah, that's dodgy ground on several fronts. Just delete that one. I could censor it. No, just delete it because otherwise it's just obvious. Like when they play a song on the radio and it's got a swear word in it and they bleep it out. We all know what the word is. Most people wouldn't have noticed it if you hadn't have bleeped it. But yeah, so just take it down. It was just a picture of the beach. It wasn't anything spectacularly interesting. Well, other than the thing that shouldn't have been on there. Because I'd have been a lot happier if schoolgirls had looked like that when I was that age. But there we go. Yeah. I nearly let it slip once as well. She probably knows now, and there's zero chance she's going to be watching this ever. But yeah, I was staying around theirs one night, dinner, barbecue, and need to restart the PC and beer. But yeah, I stayed around theirs one night for a barbecue, party, and what have you. And I'm sort of sat there in the morning, just sort of coming to, having slept on the couch. She was wandering through in her undies. She's like, "Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! I'm so sorry." I managed to not say, "Don't worry, I've seen it before." I managed to keep the secret somehow, considering I was probably still drunk at the time. Um, yeah, that was the thing. Yeah, there's worse things have happened, but you should have seen that picture up on Facebook. That would have probably killed her. That would have been mortifying. Yeah, would have been mortifying to the nth degree. But then there's probably pictures of me from way back in the day that if they ever surfaced, thankfully they won't. because they were the days before digital. Days before mobile phones, when if you did something, it was only really the people that were there that got to know about it. And they were probably just as drunk as you were, so it didn't really matter because they couldn't remember it either. uh, yeah, it's probably for the best that Minor Marritt's generation didn't have digital cameras or phones or what have you, because yeah, we would have got ourselves in a lot of trouble a lot of times. But because there wasn't actually any evidence of it, we had plausible deniability. I mean, you can't prove it happened, so good luck. Now I've got to that point in the row now where it's just each colour I do is like half a dozen, so everything grinds to a halt. It's also the time when you realise just how many you've missed previously. What else have I got I can waffle about for another half hour or so? Interesting or amusing stories from Sharpe's history. Probably not that many. Well, there are. It's just most of the really good ones I can't remember. Or I know I've already told more than once on this channel. What else is there? What else is there? Not a huge amount that springs to mind. Not that don't involve things that I really shouldn't be talking about on YouTube. What else? Is that it? I thought there were a lot more of them than that. Oh well. So now we're just starting from left and working across and just going, right, that's the next one, that's the next one. And gradually clearing out until we finish the row. And we start the next one. Oh, you absolute. Why did I cut my nails? There we go. You should cut your nails, they're gross. No, they're actually really useful. As I find whenever I do cut my nails and I then struggle picking little things up. I've got to say, I am thankful for the rain at the moment because the hay fever has been kicking off quite badly lately. Not just the tree pollen, but all sorts is coming out into flower now. Really, there's one. Oh, bumper clap. Go on, name that tune. Painkiller by Judas Priest. And if you're not familiar with that song, I suggest you go check it out. Just be prepared though, is because if you were to look up metal, as in the music genre, in a dictionary, I'm pretty sure it would just say, see, Judas Priest Painkiller. Scary thing, what was that? That was 1990, I think, wasn't it? Damn, that's nearly 40 years old. Ooh. It must have been because Rob Alford's in his 70s by now. Or 80, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah, rest in peace, Joe Strummer. Nothing to do with Judas Priest. It was the Clash and the Mescaleros. That was another one. Apparently, one of my colleagues' sons at work has recently got into. They're a rocker, a bit of a metalhead. Apparently, they've started listening to Mr. Bungle, and their mother is very confused. But I don't know what it is. It doesn't make what. It's just Mike Patton doing Mike Patton things. That's all you need to know. It's avant-garde, shall we say? It's all just so weird. But yeah, that's kind of the point. What happens when Mike Patton is allowed to be Mike Patton? He doesn't have to be the lead singer of Faith No More or lead singer of Fantomas or whatever. It's where he can be as experimental as he likes and nobody complains about it. And when you think about it, Faith No More are experimental enough. Oh, and apparently the goldfish in the music video Epic, the one at the end that was just flopping about, apparently that was absolutely fine. Lived happily in a tank for many years afterwards. And that's row 2 done. Breaking rocks in the hot sun. I fought the law and law won. I fought the law and law won. Seems like Marritt's PC needed more than a restart. I think it probably had to do an update, and now it's installing and on a go slow like they tend to do. Right. Thankfully, this one doesn't decide to do it randomly. It actually asks, do you want me to update? Or there is an update available. Not just randomly start doing it in the middle of a stream. Like the old one used to. The old one that was pretty much running at full capacity the whole time, and then basically just because it was old and knackered, that as soon as it decided to try and download an update of any description, it ground the video to a halt. Raining hard there. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not the same rain we just had here that's got over there. But yeah, it's been absolutely hulling it down here on and off. It was, so we've got clear skies now. I would say bright sunshine, but it's like nearly 20 to 8, so it's starting to get dark, but still light in the sky. Well, it's still daylight. Which means give it another month when I do my ride. Well, I say month, another 3 weeks. It'll probably be light till about 8:30, 9:45, and then getting light again by 5 in the morning. So camp could be interesting. Kind of also at the same time I miss the California weather. Oh, not in Cali at the moment. Have we moved and I've missed something? So I wouldn't miss the California weather. It's not my cup of tea. It's sunny and hot and nasty. I can just about cope with summer for a few months. But then I need it to cool down again. Oh, the NorCal now. Yeah. Yeah. Which, yes, I know means Northern California. I'm not going to put that down as American defaultism. Maybe a little bit of tism, but ah. Well, you said you missed the California weather. So that makes it sound like you're not in California. Or do you mean you just miss the heat and sun? That you're like, yeah, rain's cool, but I want it to go away now. Yeah, we just pretty much call that about 8 months of the year in the UK. I know the old joke about, well, if you don't like the weather, wait 5 minutes. But you know, those jokes come about because of reasons. got to be some point to living in California. Yeah, I suppose so. Well, yeah, you got lots of large wild areas you can explore, and it looks a beautiful place outside of the cities. But then I'm used to English or more European type cities, which have been around for centuries or millennia, and there are buildings. Never lived anywhere there's more wildlife. Plenty of that in the city, though. That's the problem. A lot of that is the people. Uh, Again, that's true of any city in the world. Anytime you get a big group of people together, obviously, the more people you got together, the more chance there's going to be scumbags amongst them. But what do we reckon? Do we reckon Gavin Newsom's going to stand for El Presidente next time? Go up against whoever the Republicans decide to choose? Or do you reckon Harris is going to give it another go? So I get the feeling she's like, well, I gave it a go. You hope not. We need somebody way better than you. There is that. But unfortunately, the pool of people who want to do a job like that is pretty small, despite what plenty of I could do a better job. You could probably do a better job than the guy at the moment, but most people couldn't do a better job than an actual, politician, a diplomat, an economist, someone with at least half a brain who understands that they don't know everything. And what was it? He was claiming like he was top of his class, and then said something else about, was it John Oliver or Stephen Colbert? Yeah, I think it was Colbert managed to get hold of his test results for, the matter of public record. He was something like 370th out of a class of 376 or something like that. Like, no, you weren't top of the class. You were an idiot. But yeah, we know this. Just because you say something with enough conviction, Donald, it doesn't mean it's true. First red flag should have been their records from Hogwarts. He's the biggest flipping muggle there ever was. He'd never get into Hogwarts, and I'm no Harry Potter fan, as we all know. I've not read any of the movies, nor read any of the movies, watched any of the movies, or read any of the books. Because I was far too old for them by the time they came out, being, children's books and children's movies. But yeah, he's the biggest muggle there ever was. There is no way he would have been accepted in Hogwarts. Not even as the toilet unblocker. Would that make you Magic Mike? Is that why you're wandering around half naked? That's actually quite a good one for me. Quite a good movie reference there. Again, to a movie I've not watched, because why would I want to watch a movie about male strippers? I mean, by all accounts, it's a good movie, so I'm not knocking it, but Sharpe bait, boo ha ha. You hung it up there and I hit it with a cricket bat. Yeah, I'm not. It's like people who have seen it tell me it's a really good movie, but like the Barbie movie, people say, "Oh, that's really good." No, it's actually a lot deeper than you'd think, and blah blah blah. It's still a Barbie movie. Much as I might enjoy looking at Margot Robbie, the rest of it's just going to have about as much interest to me as a fossilized turd on the end of my boot. I've watched Showgirls more than once. I had it on VHS, which is a movie about female strippers, and I enjoyed that. Not for the quality of the movie, it has to be said. It was absolute garbage as a film, but there was lots of nudity, so enjoyable. Yeah, so again, not the kind of movies I'm going to be watching. So people were raving about Avatar. I was like, well, okay, I'll watch it when it comes out on DVD, I guess at the time. Might even have been VHS. And I was like, why is everyone raving about this? It's garbage. How about the effects? Yeah, the storylines that are trash. It's trying to make a point so ham-fistedly it's unreal. And the effects weren't actually that great. Because it's all just CGI, so it looked like you were playing a video game. So in essence, I was basically waiting for the chance to press X to skip the cutscene. Oh no, it's amazing. It's like, have you seen Event Horizon? No. I suggest you go watch that instead because it's a much better movie. It's a lot deeper and a lot less ham-fisted in its plot. Then they watch it and then they have nightmares for about 3 months. Because their brain is still trying to compute that the friendly dinosaur scientist from Jurassic Park, Sam Neill, is playing a psychopathic, murdering smeghead. uh, Yeah, I've got Event Horizon on Blu-ray. I might have to watch that again soon. It was one of those movies that I originally had on VHS, then I got it on DVD, and now I'm pretty sure I got it on Blu-ray. So I've not really watched many movies at all lately. It's just, especially not new ones, because they all just seem to be remakes and rehashes of something I've already watched. Or just so reliant on CGI and stuff that, no, just do it properly. Use some ingenuity in actual special effects. It's what makes them special. Like the old skeleton fight from, oh, was it Sinbad or one of those Ray Harryhausen movies of the monsters? Might be Clash of the Titans or something like that. Whichever movie it is, I don't recall. But that was a stop motion sword fight with skeletons. Shot in the 70s, I want to say. Might have even been the 60s, but I think it's the 70s. Might have been the 80s. Way back. And that still looks more realistic than most of the special effects do these days. It doesn't drag you out of the immersion into the storyline. It doesn't drag you out of what's going on. Because while it may not be real, or was it Jason and the Argonauts? Might have been that one. I say it might not have been real, but everything that was being shot did actually exist. So it still does have the element of reality to it. Whereas where it's purely CGI, it's just like, no. It has its uses, don't get me wrong. But it's overly relied on these days. It's like, oh, we can just CGI that later. Like people are with AI and writing emails or whatever. I'll just run it through AI. No, do the work yourself. Figure out a way you can actually do it. Like all the various scenes of the hobbits in Lord of the Rings. The way they were all shot. It was either small people dressed up as doubles for like distance shots, or the smaller shots, it was or closer up shots where you needed the actual actors. It was all done with forced perspective. So it looked real. But if the camera had moved like 6 inches a foot, it would have looked absolute garbage. But it didn't. Because the people who knew what they were doing. apparently a rare thing these days for people to know what they're doing. Yeah. Yeah. That's enough of a rant about movies. Although you could say it's something that's just going on in general throughout society, overly relying on tech. And when the tech doesn't work, people are completely lost. They don't know what to do. There's probably people out there who wouldn't actually know how to find a piece of information in a library. But then we also know there are people out there who don't know that you can just ask Google a question and it will find you answers. I use it fairly regularly for that at work. What size roll plug for this size screw, or that kind of thing, because I can never remember. Because the various different brands use different sizings, which is really not helpful. Got a few eights. Actually, I think I might stay on stream a little longer. See if I can get this row finished off. Not a huge amount left. Even if I've completely run out of things to talk about. But then it's not like I'm a professional YouTuber or anything. I come on here with a plan of what I'm going to talk about. And I used to. Then I realised that plan lasted for all of about 5 minutes till I run through everything I wanted to talk about, and it was like, oh. So I find it better to just let things come to me naturally. Well, better for me anyway. Probably utter garbage for everyone watching, but there we go. Garbage. What else? Is there literally one of them R's? Yeah, we'll do that. Get that out of the way. Didn't even talk about images. No, we didn't. I'm not overly familiar with the with that, but you know. There's, there's been several that have gone into the adult entertainment industry. Usually ends up being quite interesting. Interesting is probably not the correct term to use, but oh well. Sometimes you just click on things because you're like, what the heck? How's that even going to work? Just morbid curiosity rather than anything else. So I guess is why most people end up watching my videos. Just pure morbid curiosity. How bad can this be? Yeah. So did what was her name? Sybil Kakili, the actress who played his uh, I suppose girlfriend by the end of Game of Thrones, or by the time she got offed. And when you think about it, Dinklage is a good name for a porn star. And you just know when he was at school, his nickname was Dinky Dinklage. Which came about as a dinky came about as a term because of dinky cars, which were kind of like one of our versions of Hot Wheels. So small toy cars, and the company was called Dinky. So if something was a smaller version of something, it got called Dinky. Or something's a bit sweet, cute, twee, or how dinky. A dinklage sounds like a pejorative term for a little bit. It does, doesn't it? You absolute dinklage. I might have to start using that. Might upset less people than things like you absolute turbo div. It does occur to me that most of the things we used to call each other at school when I was at school are now just basically banned terms. You can't say that. Why not? You can't call them that. Why not? Always used to. No, it's this now. That sounds even worse. Right, so we're not allowed to call someone a moron. Okay, well, what do we call them when they are acting like a moron? Uh, yeah, exactly. Call it as you should see it. That's what I say. Yeah, if you don't like it, well, tough. Stop doing the thing that makes me call you that, and then you won't get called that. Oh yeah, back on that again. Yeah, hang on. You absolute dinklage. Yeah, I'm definitely taking that as an insult. Hank is Samuel. That will, that will be getting some use and abuse. And if someone complains, I just send them either to you or to the video of him singing Space Pants. If you've not seen Peter Dinklage singing Space Pants, yeah. I am wearing space pants. It's one of those things that's just dumb but funny. Well, I think it might have been a Saturday Night Live or an SNL skit at some point. I think that might be where it came from. Yeah, I still love the fact that when they did the Game of Thrones calendar, they made him February. He was like, "Yeah, thanks, shortest month of the year." I wonder who they made August, the hottest month of the year. I'd have probably gone for what was her name? Played Roz, the busty red-headed lady of the night in the first few seasons before she got offed. I'd have made her August. But then, this is me and Busty Redheads. We know where this one goes. Nearly there, nearly done. So it is that point where it's literally 2 or 3 of each colour, or each number, I should say. Shade. Mostly because I missed these ones earlier. A few of them. First enough of those, I'll go out with 3pH. That's basically battery acid, isn't it? 3pH. I think many fish could survive in that. Well, we actually mentioned fish more than once in the live stream. So there we go. While I'm doing the last couple, I will say my usual goodbyes. Thank you to everyone for turning up and watching. If you're watching on replay crew, thank you very much too. I understand not everyone can be here live. I know some people do watch the replay because the views do go up during the week. So that means someone else has watched. Unless there's people going, I can't believe he actually said that. Yeah. Peace and love to you, Mikey, and your fams. Have a great week, people. Stay safe. Peace out. Rock on. And bye-bye. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Sunday shop do 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 do. Mondays suck do 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 do.